So when the tyranny inevitably fails and the aristocratic system inevitably rises from its ashes, you will be in one of three groups. You'll be in the peasantry, the nobility, or the clergy. This is inevitable. Each of these groups has its own challenges, but also its own perks and benefits. I'm going to talk to you a bit about the peasantry today. Now, you may look around at the state of your life and think, well, I'm definitely going to be in the peasantry if that's what this guy thinks. And either you're doing that by choice because maybe you want to be a peasant, maybe you want a simple life, or maybe you're resentful because you blame this person, that person, the other person, or ideas for putting you in that position. Well, for the second group, one, you've given away your power to change your circumstances, which you definitely can. And two, you might be wrong. Your current life circumstances do not determine, they're not the key factor in determining which group you fit into. There's deeper reasons. If you want to find out what they are, get in touch, I'll tell you. For the first group who are choosing peasantry, you may also be wrong, and it may be a cop-out. You may not be pursuing your highest purpose and potential. Let me tell you about a friend of mine who couldn't be any more archetypal. He refers to himself as a peasant farmer. He lives with his family in an old farmhouse on the estate of a lord and a lady, where he produces wheat and bakes bread for them. He wants to be a peasant farmer because he wants to live a simple life connected to the earth, which he finds to be very deeply fulfilling and meaningful. But ultimately, for him, it's about producing the best bread possible. He's a baker, really. But in order to do his job properly, he needs to grow the wheat. He needs to maintain everything to do with that process. He needs to take his time as an artist, crafting his cultures for the sourdough, allowing his doughs to be the best, in the best form possible before he bakes. He has to maintain his own equipment, keep his own oven in good nick. He's a peasant in that sense. So the challenges there are obvious. As a peasant, it's hard physical graft. You are directing your will toward the fulfillment of somebody else's wishes. But you always are, no matter what group you're in. But the benefits there is that for him, and this is something that a lot of people don't grasp, being closer to nature and the natural world and how things work, really, allows you to become more human. There's a deeper experience of life available there than most people with their iPhones and their fucking social media accounts are able to grasp or come anywhere near to, he says, using social media. This man's life is, although it's heavy graft, it's a slower pace. There's less complexity that he has to deal with. All the nonsense and the noise of the world, he can largely allow to pass over his head because he's focused on growing wheat, baking bread, and being with his family. Great benefits to being in the peasantry, actually. And I know lots of people like this. I spent a lot of time in intentional community circles, sustainability circles, Marxist and anarchist circles in the past as well. And there's a massive sentiment for this. And lots of distortion as well, because people don't want to accept the role of menial labour if somebody else is paying for it, essentially. Is that you? Well, it's foolish. Now, my friend, interestingly enough, actually is part of the nobility, but he doesn't accept that because he wants to have a simpler life. It's a cop-out. He's not growing into his potential, that's his choice, but we are all losing out as a result of that because his capacities are higher than just physical graft. Now, it's important that we all do a bit of that we all connect with the natural world. But if we make that our entire life, and it's not where we're supposed to be, we're doing ourselves and everybody else a disservice. So that's the peasantry. It's no bad thing. It's in fact a fucking glorious thing, if it's right for you. So if you want to know whether you fit into the nobility, the clergy, or the peasantry, send me a private message and we'll figure it out. This has been part 3 of a series of videos on the post-tyrannical world and how you need to prepare for it and who you need to be in order to prepare for it. Like and subscribe for more.